Utah State's Jordan Love has been gaining buzz around the combine. Love's playmaking skills have been what's caught the eye of NFL scouts. NFL Network's Bucky Brooks also believes that the recent success of African-American quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson have helped raise the stock of Jordan Love. So, Shannon,
I do, but it's just not those guys, Skip. You look at, if we get back down to it, Skip, if we look at it this year, really the guys that were in MVP discussion, obviously Lamar won, but Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott for a number of years. So what we're starting to see, Skip, because we've had other guys win the MVP, black quarterback. Steve McNair, if I'm not mistaken, was the first. He won it with Peyton Manning and Cam Newton. But we've never seen this many black quarterbacks play this well at this particular time. And so now, Skip, what is the NFL? Copycat league. They got what he doing well. Let me get one.
Completely agree.
Because we saw a run on young coaches. Oh, he 32, he doing that. Well, let me go get me a 31-year-old. So the league is going to copy. If you have success doing something, you best believe, unless if they find out what you did, they're going to copy it. And that's what we're starting to see. And so this kid, I watched him last night. He has a big arm. He can flat out throw it, Skip. He can throw the football. And it's automatically. It's like if you play quarterback, you're black, you mobile. Even if you can't. Byron Leftwich.
I was going to say Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich wasn't mobile. It's kind of like you're black. Oh, you can sing and dance, huh? Hell no, everybody that's black can't sing and dance. But they automatically. That's just the assumption that it is, Skip. And so I just think the thing with the way the space on the field and the defensive guys are getting more athletic. You probably need quarterbacks that are a little bit more athletic. Not to say that you can't win doing it like Tom Brady and doing it like Peyton and Breeze, but more times than not, Skip, what we're starting to see now is that guys are starting to move. Even the white quarterbacks, we're starting to see Josh Allen, we saw Tannehill, we saw guys that can move now. The stationary guys that just basically throw from the pocket, those we're starting to see that.
I think Joe Burrow can move.
Oh, yeah. On that fourth down, ask Clemson, can he move?
That's a good point.
Ask Alabama, can he move? Because he absolutely can, Skip. But I think so. I think what they're starting to see is that, for the very reason they took, like if a black quarterback got early on, if he didn't have success, see, I told you couldn't do it. Now we're starting to see 5, 6, 7 guys have success. Hey, Jordan Love is reaping some of that benefit.
He certainly is and should. So, as you know, I've been long fascinated by the rise and the success of the black quarterback because I was right in the middle of the first one who went in the first round, Doug Williams. I spent a week with him when I used to work for the LA Times back in the 70s, week with him at Grambling ahead of that draft. And I've always told you the story called one prominent GM at the time who told me that the black quarterback doesn't have the mental capacity to play in our league. And Doug Williams went 17th overall, which was a breakthrough.
Unheard
just
of.
to go to Tampa. It was unheard of. And he eventually, as we all know, was the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. God bless him. And here we went. And the door started to crack open, and then it started to swing open. And just for the record, for those who have lost touch, we have had 5 black quarterbacks go #1 overall, starting with our man Michael Vick in 2001. And we got Jamarcus Russell obviously didn't work out, but he went. He couldn't run either.
He couldn't.
But Cam and Jameis and Kyler. Okay, so we got 5. Pretty good. But then if we go back to the 90s, we started seeing these breakthroughs because Steve McNair went 3rd overall in 1995 out of Alcorn.
And think about it, because Skip, as you mentioned, Doug was from Grambling. He wasn't from no Big Ten or, SEC school.
No. And we had Akili Smith go 3rd overall, and we had Andre Ware go 7th overall.
Donovan went 2nd.
Donovan went 2nd overall. Was he 3rd? No, 2nd. He was 2nd. You're right. Good. And I can just go on. And then lately we just had this big run with Deshaun and my homeboy and all. So it's not unusual to see them go high, Vince Young, RG3. But what threw me a curve, what knocked us back in time, what set us back was here comes Lamar, and I guess we have to pin it mostly on Bill Polian, and I'm not trying to put him on the hot seat again, but it was his gut feeling that Lamar should play receiver. And we're like, what? Do you see what the numbers he put up? Okay, and there were probably a few others, I think, who chimed in that, yeah, he's probably more suited to play another position. And it threw me a little curveball even this year that a guy I love, Jalen Hurts, who I thought looked really good last night and ran even better than I thought he would, because he's not fast twitch runner. He's more he's like Le'Veon. He runs like Le'Veon with power and patience. But the point is, I was reading some things earlier this week where Jalen was having to defend himself. No, I don't want to play another position. I want to play quarterback.
I want to work out at another position.
Okay.
But Skip, they automatically assume if you're black and like he athletic, he can easily switch. Hey, there's Johnny Manziel to switch.
No. I mean, you can argue they've asked Taysom Hill to switch, I guess. I don't know, maybe.
But Skip,
and Tebow got a little bit of, would you play some
tight
sort
end
of, or some
hybrid?
Kind of hybrid? Yeah.
But Skip, Lamar Jackson threw for over 3,500 yards, rushed for 1,500, won the Heisman, had a better year his junior year than his sophomore year. So somebody did that, Skip. Yeah. Somebody put up those Heisman Trophy winning numbers. He did that. At least give him an opportunity. It's like Harris Wayne. I played with Harris Wayne. Skip, he got drafted as a defensive lineman at Tampa. Well, he didn't cut it on that side of the ball. They moved him to the offensive line, and he played 13, 14 years in the league. At least give me an opportunity. And if I fail, give me a decision. Well, Shannon, it's not really working out for you on this side of the ball. Like Lane Johnson. Lane was a defensive lineman, and he said, hey,
he did.
What kind of wasn't working out. They asked me to move over. I tried it and been there ever since.
All right, which brings us back to Jordan Love. I'll be the first to admit, I watched 0 Jordan Love games last year. Why? Because he had a new coach with a completely new supporting cast. He lost a bunch of starters, and they were pretty awful. And he had an awful year by his standards of the previous year. He was 20 touchdowns and 17 interceptions with no rush touchdowns. The year before, he had 32 to 6 touchdowns, interceptions with 7 rush TDs, and they went 11-2, a kind of a quiet 11-2. But all of a sudden, last night on NFL Network, there's a runaway train that Jordan Love could be Patrick Mahomes. That he has that kind of special ability. He's been talking this week about, yeah, I accept the comparison, and teams are asking me, do I see some Mahomes in myself? Because he's got those capabilities, as an athlete with the big arm, and he can move around.
And the thing is, Skip, we didn't think, Skip, it wasn't until like the last 3 or 4 games that we thought Patrick was home. We knew he could move, but we always thought, Skip, he's moving out of the pocket to throw the ball down the field. What we saw in the divisional, in the championship game, no, he's moving to get first down because he led the team in rushing. And even early on, Skip, they started out the Super Bowl with him running the football.
They did.
So it just goes. So we didn't see that. I think this kid is 6'4". Mahomes is not that tall. 6'2.5", maybe 6'3".
Maybe.
He might. I mean, Mahomes might be, because Mahomes, he looks solid, Skip. He might be in the 235-ish.
I was going to say 240.
Yeah, he looks
thick legs.
Yeah, he's solid. Go back and look at the tape. And I get it, Skip. His sophomore year, he was well, I think his junior year.
No,
it was sophomore year because he came out.
Coming out, early.
You look at that, okay, he played unbelievable in a system that he was familiar with. They bring in a new system. But I'm going to look at the tape. I'm going to watch him. I'm going to talk to him, get him on the board. Because, Skip, he got some arm talent now.
Well, Bucky Brooks, who does a really good job and I have a high respect for, he's moved him up to 12th in the first round. Wow. Like Mel Kiper, Todd McShay don't have him in the first round yet, but it sounds like he will be.
Yeah, Skip, I'm watching him throw the out routes, and watching the timing and how the ball just jumps out of his hand. He got talent. He got talent. But but Jalen Hurts, Skip, is kind of like Lamar. I'm not saying I believe Jalen Hurts can play, but you're going to have to structure a system that's like what they did for Lamar now. If you think he's just going to come in and run any conventional offense, that's not happening.
No. His arm is better than you think.
Yes.
And he is a playmaker. He is the leader of your franchise. He has extremely high football character, and he's such a cagey veteran sort of patient runner. He will make yards.
The best thing that ever happened to him, Skip, is that Tua took over. He got to go to Oklahoma because he wasn't going to be thought of like he's thought of now playing in the Alabama system.
No, that's a good point. Yep.
He really took over that offense, and it was impressive what he did there in the amount of time, and just his respect among teammates. And I mean, I'm rooting
And
for
now
him.
I'm not going to be
rooting for him.
surprised if he goes maybe into first round or early second
Right.
somewhere.
Because you think about what he has now. Jalen Hurts had Jerry Jeudy.
He did.
He had all these receivers that you see, and he didn't.
Yep.
So it would take him going to Oklahoma, and it's like, well, damn, he could throw a little. He could throw.
Yep. And it helped to have C.D. Lamb.
Oh, CD. I think he had 4-5 in the
Oh,
40s.
Jerry Jeudy.
Watching. Oh.